Hey yo, it's Overdue for Overdue Media Production. Today we're making another video about the Soundcraft Mtk12 after 1 year of putting it into use. So the first thing I'll actually, talk about is the fact that this mixer, you can use it to incorporate numerous instruments into your production. If you're recording straight from, for instance, your electric drum like I have here, or you're recording straight from your MPC, guitar, whatever instrument, you can actually do this with it. So let's go into this and I'm gonna show you how I incorporate this in the video. Record. Let's say I want to add some drums. I connected that straight to the channels 9 and 8, and this is something I played before, so let me just take it out and try something for the sake of demonstration. So 7 and 8, so I can. So it's a sync. So on this instance, I'm using Ableton, and of course you can actually use any DAW of your choice. You can also incorporate these into MPC. I have the MPC Live here, which I also used and made a video about. So this is irrespective of the DAW you are using. So in this case, I've added, all the elements I want on this beat that I'm working on. It's just a drum beat, and I threw in a loop, a guitar loop, just to make the illustration a little bit easier. Okay, so this is how I'll use it in just producing my beat. On the routing, I also have a video about that from the Ableton and also from MPC. Like I said, it's irrespective of the DAW you are using. So if I come to Ableton, the only thing I have to do is just to go to the external out and actually just route the corresponding instrument that I want straight to the mixer. So I'll use the kick as an illustration. For instance, the kick I sent to 2, which is here, mono 2. And the sub kick is also in mono 3. So I'll start by giving it a play. So I routed the melody straight to 9 and 10 that you can see here, and I actually used some onboard effects. On the 9 and 8, I added a little bit of the reverb, the plate reverb, which is an onboard effect on the Soundcraft Mtk12, and you can see on the return here, I had to push it up. That's without the effect, and I also use the EQ. The PEX comes here. So that's how I'll use it. And if I want to sum out the beat, like I already did, but I'm just going to do it again for the purpose of demonstration, I'll take that out. I already set up the channel here to receive from the 13 and 14, which is the left and right. So what I'll do in this kind of occasion is just to arm it up and make sure the monitoring is not on auto and is on off. And I'll just record it back to the system. Let me just quickly throw some light to the fact that a lot of people find it difficult to record back to the DAW with the signals being appropriate or desired volume. You can actually also use it against staging, like the professionals will call it. So what I'll do in this case, and that is why the big knob comes in, I'll just reduce the sound or the signal going to my left and right speakers in my studio and pump this up to get the appropriate volume. So this is why I actually will recommend the big knob. So let's try that again till I get a required or a desired volume or signal back to my DAW. I'll just keep pushing this up. Let's try that. So you see that when I push this up, it actually also reflected on the DAW. So I'm going to turn off the microphone and record it back to the DAW and just take a listen to it. And we'll just go to some of the things I said I was going to tell you about the Soundcraft Mtk12. So let's just quickly record it back to the DAW. That's the 8 bars just to illustrate this. And now let me tell you something else that also confuse people. Like I'm routing the 11 and 12 to listen to myself when it comes to what is happening on the DAW. Why this is going out and this is what I can record on. So that's a little bit of a confusion for the first users. So you see the whole time my 11 and 12, and if you check my masters, is routed out to 11 and 12. So the whole time my 11 and 12 was down. So if I want to take a listen to this now, for instance, what I just recorded, you see that I'm not hearing anything until I push the 11 and 12. But if I'm playing everything with that up and everything up, you're going to hear a nasty sound. So I'll put this down if I want to listen to what is going on the DAW as per what I've routed back to Soundcraft. And if I want to listen to what I did or what I recorded back to Soundcraft, this is how I will listen to it with 11 and 12. So I hope that was not confusing. I'll just quickly run through the things I said I was going to say about this mixer and what I've really found very appealing and enjoyed about it. Number one, obviously, being the multiple in and out. The SLR, you have the advantage of connecting SLR straight, or if you want to connect the quarter-inch jack, there's also a an input for that, and you can route everything straight live. You can record multi-track if you are jamming, for instance. In the case of a group or a band, you definitely can record everybody at once. And I've not tried these with the acoustic drums, but I know that if I was to mic and acoustic drums to this mixer, it would definitely be a no-brainer. So number one, definitely being the multiple in and out. Number two, being the fact that if you have this mixer, it's also going to serve as a sound card. So you can also use it for vocal production and, definitely just up your game as far as home studio stuff is concerned. Number three, being the price. The price is actually a no-brainer. I got this for about $350 euros in where I stay in Germany, and the Mtk12 definitely will double the price. So, but For the price, I find this actually as a no-brainer because you also have an onboard effect. So you are paying for everything once. So if you don't have money for EQ, you can actually have your EQs here. I can tell you the EQs, the effects are amazing. So number 4 being the durability. This thing is built like a tank. The knobs, the rubbers, the slides, they feel very responsive. I love the resistance. I'll give it a 5/5 as far as the durability. If you are talking about USB sound cards, you always definitely would, consider the fact that there could be latency, but the latency on this mixer is manageable. You can actually see how everything's sit into place in what I'm trying to record back to the DAW. And when I was incorporating some elements of the drums, I connected the TDK, and of course it went straight and it sat like it's supposed to be. So the latency is a no-brainer. The latency is definitely manageable. I only recommend that if you're recording, try to monitor, not to turn it off, to turn the monitor off on your DAW, as the case may be, if you're using Ableton, and not leave it on the auto. So you saw what I was trying to demonstrate. So number 6 being the fact that it's not actually complex. Some people might find it intimidating, especially for people like us that are coming from the audio box or Focusrite, where there are no too much buttons and no colors. But I guarantee you, it's just the same thing happening in different channels, and it's quite easy to just put your heads around. For instance, if I'm using the EQ, I'm not a professional engineer, but I always try to check out the extreme of that effect and how much I want of that effect. For instance, if I'm missing a kick and I'm giving it the low ends a whole lot of boost with this, and if I feel like that's too much, you definitely can reduce it here just to your taste and how you want your music to sound like. So that brings us to number 7, the ability to sum up everything you are doing on your instruments or any stuffs that you connected to the Mtk. So you can sum it out at the end of the session without any problems and just have your master left and right. Those are the 7 reasons I think this thing is a no-brainer. What are some of the things I don't like about it? Number 1, obviously, being the fact that the Phantom is just one and it affects the whole board. If I'm using the condenser microphone, for instance, if that was the only microphone I own, I'll have to put this on the whole time I'm talking to you. That's definitely a disadvantage. I would have expected them to build in 1 or 2 Phantom in, on the channels that are that they want that to be on. For instance, the limiter are built on the first 2, the high Z are built on 5 and 6. Then number 2 being the fact that I would have actually, that's more of a preference or a wish. I would have wished that these stuffs and the cables, the SLR and 1/4-inch jack inputs were built on the behind, like you will find on the MPC, for instance. That makes it a lot convenient and economical, But I know they were thinking of the bigger boards too, because you'll be able to, stand above your boards. But for a mini portable mixer like this for home studio, where your hands can go through everything in a stretch, I would have, loved it to be from behind. Then the number 3 will probably be the fact that there's no on and off switch button built on this thing. It's a bit weird. You finish your session, you want to turn off your equipment, you have to turn this off from the power source. There's no switch built on it, and I find that a little bit weird, So, but it is what it is. To some people, you might find that as useful information is the fact that there's no MIDI input built into this mixer. Something that you will find in audio box like this. The Focusrite I had didn't also have the MIDI in and out, but you find that on the audio box, and that is why I still keep this audio box around. So if you're into that, so that's the way you can walk around it. So that's basically what I wanted to just talk about as far as using this mixer for the last 1 year. So if you enjoyed the video and you want videos like this, and generally, find it interesting to watch how beats are made, you can consider subscribing to the channel, and let's just grow the family. Peace. I enjoy every one of your comments. Don't forget to leave a like. I wish you the best in 2022. Peace, and I'll see you soon.